What's up, Ducks fans? We are back for the final game of this 8-game homestand, going back to Honda Center for Ducks versus Minnesota Wild tonight. So we get a Wild team tonight that has really been struggling lately. Their last 5 games, they've only scored 5 goals. So we know all about that, our early season struggles to score. And so that's what the Wild are going through right now. And so I would say it's fortunate on our part that we, are getting them under those circumstances. Obviously, they could come in and score 5 goals tonight, but considering their struggles lately, I would say it's a good time to be playing them. They've only won 1 of their last 5 games, and the Central Division has really started to become more down to earth and definitely within reach. The 4th and 5th place teams in the Central are becoming more within reach of the Pacific Division in terms of us possibly having a wildcard team in one of the 2 wildcard slots this season in the West. So that's something that has been discussed a lot, but me personally, I would much rather be the 3rd or 2nd place team in the Pacific because, getting to play Arizona in the first round, I realize they're 3-0 against us this year, but getting to play them just sounds so much nicer to me than like the Blackhawks or the Kings or the Stars. Like especially Chicago. Like if we had to play Chicago in the first round this year, I would just like throw open my mouth because just the thought of all those Blackhawks fans at Honda Center. See, at least when the Kings fans are at Honda Center, at least they're right up the road. Like Blackhawk fans, all those people are just pure bandwagoners. Okay, so anyway, back to tonight's game. So Ducks Wild. The Wild are 22, 15, and 8, and of course we are 19, 18, and 7. So definitely still some ground there to be made up. But like I said, it is much more attainable now. So these games against the Central Division, middle of the pack teams become much more important. So it is an important game, and for me, even if it weren't the Wild, it's important in my opinion because, like I said last video, we are a team that, we're 4-3 on this 8-game homestand, which we've had some close calls. Like the Detroit game was close, the LA game was close. Really, out of our 3 losses, the only one where we really got beat was Toronto, and obviously we had some wins that were, you could say, on the closer side, like the comeback against the Blues. That was definitely close. So, so we've won some and lost some, but it's important that we get this win, in my opinion, just to finish above 500 on the homestand, get 10 out of the 16 points, because if we lose tonight, it was a very, very mediocre homestand. Like if we lose this game, going 4-4, we really didn't do ourselves any favors. Whereas if we're 5-3, we can look back on the homestand as like a point where we did advance against some of our competition, for a playoff spot. So we are still 7-3-1 in our last 11 games. So if we can get the win tonight, that'll improve on that record as well. So that's since Christmas. And also, we can win tonight for Hampus Lindholm because it is his 22nd birthday, and he will also be playing his 200th career game tonight, which is just insane. 22 years old, he's already playing his 200th career game, so that is pretty impressive. So, as far as the game goes, the Wild have been struggling to score lately. We're going to have John Gibson in net tonight. I think the Ducks are going to win, and I'm going to say we get it 3-1. So it'll be a very similar game, in my opinion, to our first game against the Wild this season at Honda Center, where we won 4-1. Interestingly enough, the Wild beat us 3-0 in Minnesota. So the series this season has been, we spanked them at home, they spanked us at home. It's kind of hard to predict based on that. But I am going to say the Ducks win 3-1. And I got my black Teemu Selanne jersey on tonight, so we'll see how it does. That's my prediction. Go Ducks. I will see you all after the game. Well, Ducks fans, for the second time this season, I correctly predicted the score to the game. So the Ducks won 3-1, so that's pretty cool. Second time this season and second time on this homestand. So I'm getting some right predictions lately, so that's cool. So the Ducks won 3-1. It was a very grindy type of game. There were only 2 goals in the first 2 periods of play, and the Wild started the scoring off when the ex-Kings Coke Mule Jarrett Stoll scored, and then we answered just a few minutes later on a Chris Stewart goal, which was originally credited to Shea Theodore, and it was later changed to Chris Stewart. And then, like I said, no scoring in the second, and then in the third, with about 6 minutes left, we broke the tie on a beautiful play. Corey Perry, Patrick Maroon, Rickard Rakell, and the goal, tic-tac-toe. So it was a beautiful play, and it was Rickard Rakell's 10th goal of the season, which is a new career high for him. Then we scored an empty netter, courtesy of Jakob Silfverberg. So 3-1 final. After that trade, the Carl Hagelin trade, which was after the Dallas game 2 games ago, we saw some wacky lines against LA. And Bruce opted to go with those wacky lines tonight, and it seemed to pay off. So it's just so strange to see Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaf not be on the same line from the start of the game. Not like, because of like us not scoring a lot of goals and having like some line change-ups. Just from the start of the game, they're not on the same line together. So the Getzlaf line was Chris Stewart, Ryan Getzlaf, and David Perron. And then the Corey Perry's line, there was Rickard Rakell at center with Corey Perry and Patrick Maroon, which was really weird to see. But they had the beautiful play. I mean, it seems like they'll probably stick together, I imagine, for at least another game, considering both lines got goals. And then Ryan Kessler, Jakob Silfverberg, and Andrew Cogliano, which is not a line that we're not accustomed to seeing, which dates back even to last season, which we started the 2014-2015 season with Kessler, Cogliano, Silfverberg. So we've seen that line a lot. And then tonight, the fourth line was Nate Thompson, Sean Horkoff, and Yuri Sekach. So kind of interesting. And like I said, because we ended up getting 3 goals tonight, even though one was an empty netter, I imagine we'll see those lines for our next game, which will be Friday in Washington. So we now embark on a little mini 3-game road trip, which, like I said, it starts Friday in Washington. And then we also go to Detroit and Boston. This is going to be a tougher road trip, especially Washington. That's going to be a tough one. So, so the Ducks, we concluded the homestand 5-3, and I would say overall grade, B+. I mean, it was a really solid homestand, but we played really well. There were a couple games, namely Detroit and LA, where we just couldn't get over the hump and get at least 1 point in those games. But overall, I mean, we played really well, and I mean, there was the spanking at the hands of Toronto that really is the one really bad blemish on the homestand. And other than that, though, like I said, Detroit and LA, those were close games, and then we got 5 wins. So, and in our last 6 games, we're scoring 3 goals a game. So I mean, we're scoring goals, and now in our last 12, we're 8-3-1. So, we're playing good hockey, and I mean, it's continuing, and I hope we can take it out on the road trip, and maybe get at least 4 of those 6 points, and yeah, so we don't have another home game until February 2nd, and that's the next time I will be making a video. So go Ducks, and see you later.